What's going on, everybody? Doc Average Gamer Guys back again. Another Let's Talk Tarkov. We're going to jump into just some recent changes, some other things that are getting updated, just generally how Tarkov has been going since our most recent patch. We're going to talk about some updated news as well as some things to anticipate that are on their way in terms of changes and what Battle State Games has put out regarding that and some future hotfixes. So, without further ado, let's talk Tarkov. So we're jumping in. First and foremost, I just have to start by saying a lot of the changes, recoil, movement, we've had some time with them now, and I think it is generally almost universal that people have enjoyed it. I hope you have as well. I certainly think it's also brought a lot of folks back to the game. There are still plenty of issues that need to get reworked. We're going to talk about that here in just a minute. But I am pretty happy with a lot of the adjustments that have happened, and I think we're certainly moving towards a game and refinement to a lot of those things that are going to add to the longevity of this game. You know, one thing that gets said a lot, and I've said it quite a few times, and probably a few of these episodes and in our other series, is that these wipes, this beta period, which I know everybody gives the game crap for, the wipes are truly for them to be able to test things. Now, I think it's intended that they test certain features, and I think there's a lot of times where those features then have unintended consequences for other features, inertia being one of them that we're kind of referencing with the movement changes and the stamina decreases and increases and things that we've seen. I feel like where we're at now, not that it doesn't need some continued refinement. There are some weapons that I still think need some specific recoil adjustments, but the game as a whole has felt a whole heck of a lot better. This wipe, especially in comparison to previously in the wipe and before the patch, and even prior to the wipes, last couple of wipes probably, just from a movement and a gunplay standpoint, which is really, really awesome. They've continued to update a couple of things, and some things we'll talk about, but armor changes, some durability has also been changed. And I think what this is leading to is just a little bit of a refinement on time to kill, specifically for upper tier armors, which I think is really good. I have continued to say, and one big takeaway is that I really truly believe they need to look at ammo, its damage, and its pen values. And I think some refinement with that, as well as maybe some tweaks to what else the ammo does, specifically in terms of recoil, would be a good one, as well as malfunction chance, durability burn, and those kinds of things. I think that could be a really good way to balance a lot of these ammos, as well as continue to kind of tweak and refine a little bit on just the time to kill. And I think this game benefits from having the ability to get a really clean headshot and one tap somebody, as well as getting into a prolonged fight really between two geared players and having the fight go longer than just half a magazine, which I think is a good thing. I personally think that's a good thing for this game, and I think would lend more towards skill than it would towards just getting lucky, essentially. And I feel like the recoil changes have removed the luck in large part and put it back closer into the skill category, which is awesome. So first and foremost, let me know down below if you've enjoyed the changes up to this point, and if you've been enjoying the game. There's still plenty of audio issues. There's still desynciness that needs to get worked on, netcode. There's a whole bunch of stuff that we can continue to refine, but I think one of the main portions of the game has gotten adjusted. And here's the thing. The changes we saw for this, I am now more excited for Arena. It's not something I've heard a lot of people talk about, but I think a lot of the systems and things are going to impact Arena. I'm certainly hoping that some of the desync issues and some of that is not apparent in that game. And if it isn't, and we get good movement and good recoil control like we have now in Escape from Tarkov in Arena, I think it is going to be an absolute blast. So very much looking forward to that. Let's talk about some other changes that recently happened that are really awesome. And I'm going to be the beneficiary of these on my main account and maybe on some of our other ones, so hopefully. But the first big one here, and I got to give a big thanks to Logical Solutions, boss spawn rate got buffed a couple of days ago. All bosses are now at 18%. Kill and Gluhar are at almost 6% on streets, and then the goons are 15 to 18%. Here's what's crazy. I've been doing a lot of lighthouse. For some just basic lighthouse tasks, I typically leave a lot of lighthouse tasks to get done all at once because you can stack up like 10 of them. And I have been running in there. I'm now basically through almost all of my lighthouse tasks, at least the initial ones. And I was working through basically Long Road, and the one where you have to kill the scavs by the chalets. I can't remember the name of that one. Basically, in the course of trying to get those two tasks complete, I ran into the goons twice before this update, actually. So very much luck. I ended up killing Knight. I got killed the other 2 times. I didn't kill anybody the second time. I don't have... The frustrating part is I don't have the challenge opened up yet to actually kill them. However, it was good to see them. I know people have really struggled with interacting with them and running into them, and I think these changes are necessary. The rest of the bosses, I have seen Tagilla once, and I think I've seen Sanitar dead once, and Sturman probably the most, maybe 3 times up until these changes. So if you're hunting bosses, big changes should be relatively available. At this point in the wipe, there's no reason. This purely is one of the main things keeping me from kind of finishing my Kappa push. I still have quite a few tasks left to do. I'm like level 44 or something, I don't know. So I have a little ways, but I have really not, in all that time, seen very few bosses. I do not like the idea of limiting the bosses early. I understand they have some great gear. I would love to see like early, mid wipe, late wipe gear for the bosses. That would be interesting. Don't pull them out though. If you have the skills to be able to kill them, and you can say skill/cheese, whatever. It's whatever, because they're not going to, unless they change the interactions with the bosses, you have to cheese them a little bit. I would love to see the bosses be consistent, be a presence in the early game, which this wipe they were 100% not. Instead of having to constantly kind of up their spawn rate and how often and all that kind of stuff. Or you could change the challenges so that they're open immediately, right? Like get debut done, get Jaeger opened up, and the challenges should, for all the bosses, should be there if they want to keep the spawn rate low. I don't like that option, but I would rather have that than nothing. But they're buffed, so hopefully if you need them, they're out there. Let's talk about some future changes that are coming that are probably more important. Battlestate Games tweeted this by the time this goes up a handful of days ago. They talked about estimated plan for updates, changes, improvements in upcoming hotfixes. So this is stuff that they basically know they need to work on and is being planned and implemented in the next set of hotfixes. We have reworked and improved player group system. Again, I think this is really kind of building towards Arena, to be honest with you. But we need a new one because it's clunky and it's bad and it takes forever and it's just not great. And we've known that for a while. New version of DLSS. I've seen some comments talking about they hope that they're keeping it with the most current version. I'm not very much, like, I don't know a lot about this subject, but I do know that new versions of it come out, and the new version is typically much better than the previous version. So hopefully that is what it is, and hopefully they're implementing the newest one. Reverted the mechanics of quest reward skill calculation as it was before patch 0.13. This impacts things like mentor, anything that gives a level of skill. Now there's a lot of these that give some skill bumps, a lot of quest rewards that give skill bumps that aren't super important, but there are a few that are hugely important, especially if you're trying to push for late game or especially for Kappa. You need some of these, sniper skill being one of the biggest ones. Essentially what it feels like is this the current system that we have, and this is still in the game, this has not been reverted yet, essentially gives you a certain number of points. That's not good if you're at a higher level of skill. If you don't know, skills as you level them up until I think level 9 or 10, take an increasing amount of points. Now once you get a skill at level 10, I believe it's level 10 or beyond, I could be wrong there, so don't crucify me in the comments. But once you get a skill up to, I believe, level 10, it takes 100 points for it to get. Every level after that and then you have to get that many points. But up until that point, if you've noticed, especially probably with sniper skill at first takes 20 points, and then it takes 30, and then it takes 40, and it increases from there. So when it gives a flat skill point amount, which is at least in my opinion what it looks like, and I could be totally off on this, the higher you get that skill, the less the reward is worth. And that's a big problem for a skill like, or for a quest like Mentor, which is designed to give you full levels of that skill. Now you can say it's kind of a way to cheese it. It's just a smart way to play it, especially when there are other quests that require you to have skills at certain levels, and you need some health skill. You need certain other skills to be at certain levels, which turning quests in can help with. So I'm happy to see this change, because honestly, some of the grind just isn't worth it. And being able to just get your skills or your quests completed to help with that skill progression, I think is a good thing for the game. Again, until we get to a point where you don't wipe or whatever the case may be, and then we can have the discussion about adjusting it. I don't even know if those quests will still be in the game when we get to that point. So if you can wait, hold off on turning this in. If you've already turned it in, sorry, you're probably SOL, and you're going to grind it anyways. So fix fence reputation for killing Zrachi, or however you say it, and his guards. Don't know what this is. I've been very tempted to kill him, but I can't get across the dang bridge because I'm not going to learn the pathing or whatever it is. So I just hope at some point, here's what I hope. I hope at some point you get an opportunity to kill this guy and loot him and like actually fight him without having to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff to get back to Lightkeeper. But I want to see Lightkeeper. I don't know if I'll get there this wipe. It's kind of what I'm hoping to be able to do, but it sounds like it is pretty intense, so we'll see. They're going to fix some icons, invisibility, loot, ammo attachments, trading, stash interfaces. This is good. I think it's fine the way it is, but if this is an update they want to do, absolutely. And then they have fixes for weapon animation. Frozen hands is really bad. This needs to just not happen. Like, the game is stressful enough that if you're trying to heal maybe in the middle of a fight and then you get frozen hands or whatever, or immediately after a fight and you're nervous that somebody else might be around, like, we need to fix this. This, in my opinion, should just not happen. So that definitely needs to get fixed. And then fix the possibility of him attacking players with an activated transmitter. Like, this would piss me off if this happened to me. If I got to that point and got to walk across the bridge and I started to get shot, I would then feel like I had to shoot him, and then I would not get to see Lightkeeper, and that would be bad. So this is all upcoming. There's been certainly some comments related to these things. The other thing that's not talked about in here that still needs a ton of work is audio. And I can feel very confident that there's a lot that needs to be done from an audio perspective. So the hope is they continue to refine it. I think we have seen, as of recently, some really good changes in terms of them being able to do those things and listen to player feedback, which is absolutely huge. Like, I cannot stress enough how big it is that they actually listen to some player feedback. So that is absolutely awesome, and I hope everybody recognizes that. But I hope you've been enjoying the game. Again, I am grinding. We've got some other series that I feel like are going well. We're having some fun in hardcore. And our solo standard escape series playthrough is actually going really well. Been very happy with that. Been rocking the Mosin for a ton of it, and been having a ton of success, actually. So if you're interested in that, be sure to check those out. But let me know. Love to have your comments. Love to have this, especially this kind of videos, be somewhere where we can chat down below, get your feedback, get what you think needs to be improved. I will say that I have liked the loot distribution. I have liked updated to scavs. Like, there's a lot of really good positive things for this wipe that I hope are reflected on once we're done, and I've seen improvements in the game. Not to say that things haven't gone backwards. I think that's the frustrating part. Had the audio not gone backwards, had some of the other things not gone backwards, and we would have gotten some of the updates that we had with this, you would have thrown streets on there with Lightkeeper, and maybe Lightkeeper would have been a little bit more seamless and actually kind of worked as intended, because I think that was part of the issue. But had Lightkeeper worked as intended, we would have gotten streets. Audio would have stayed at least the same. We get the changes to scavs and some of the loot that they can have, which has been awesome. Updates to their armor, their loadouts, their kits, their guns. And then we would have gotten movement and recoil changes. This could very well have gone down as one of the best patches in Escape from Tarkov's history, and really felt like we took a major leap forward. And I think that's the biggest thing that Tarkov ran into was just the fact that it didn't. It took a step back and then it has been trying to take steps forward and doing it really well in some regards, but we still have things to fix. So let me know your thoughts. Thank you so much for tuning in. Hopefully you're enjoying the other series. Hopefully you can stop by a stream sometime, flash some socials at you. If you enjoyed this one or just enjoyed this series, throw a like, throw a comment down below, share it, and let's get the discussion going. If you want to continue the discussion, we do have a Discord. Again, links in the description. We'd love to see you over there and chat. And again, on stream is a good way to do that. So hopefully we'll catch you on the weekend and do that real soon. But we'll close this one out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Thanks for clicking the like button. Thanks for throwing a comment. And we'll catch you in the next Escape from Tarkov video. Peace.